with so many people from the country of Haiti are reeling, and it's trauma after trauma, tragedy after tragedy for the nation of Haiti. But I don't buy into this stuff that so many religious, evangelicals or whatever. We talked about this on Monday, where they try to say that Haiti is cursed because of how they broke the chains off of the colonizers and the slave masters. This is actually a narrative that is pervasive in the evangelical church. And of course, we wholeheartedly reject that notion, because the oppression, the curse was white supremacy. The curse was slavery and colonization. And that's what Haiti broke. So if anything, it's that Haiti broke the curse, not that Haiti is living under a curse. And I want to just say that in solidarity with the people of Haiti as they are recovering in the aftermath of yet another traumatic event. And so we're thinking of our sister Azor in this moment.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I want to go ahead, Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to say it's been very hard to look at the footage and the photographs from Haiti and knowing, nearly 2,000 people have died. Almost, I think they've accounted 10,000 people with injuries, millions of dollars in damage, and the lack of compassion, to your point of people who are using this as an opportunity to make some narrative that fits their agenda about slavery, and historically that this is something that what they brought onto themselves. The lack of humanity. I think that more people in this country should be rushing to Haiti to volunteer, to provide relief. And when you think about even the trillions of dollars that we spent in war, right. We have the money. We have the money to go and to help, to provide aid, to provide relief. And the question should be, why do we prioritize going into a country like Afghanistan and occupying it for 20 years, but we're hesitant to deploy any resources or help to Haiti in a time of natural disaster?
Brother Mac, I want to toss it to you and ask you this way, because we do see that lack of humanity. And how often have we seen that lack of humanity intersect with the melanin in our skin? The ability for Americans to empathize in a very visceral and empathetic way with, and rightfully so, tragedies that we see in Europe. Right. But there's the tragedies that we see in Black nations across the globe. There seems to be a disconnect in the humanity and the empathy towards those victims.
Ben, you're correct when you talk about it historically. I want to think back to, and maybe it was before you and George's time, but certainly within my time when sickle cell raged. It was just a dominant illness within the Black community. And all of science understood it. And so there were a lot of resources focused on sickle cell. But when times got short, the first funding that they pulled was that of sickle cell. I'm reminded of when I was in Seattle, and there was a situation where Black children were not at the reading levels of white children. And Black parents and Black grandparents stepped in, and they started a group, an organization called Campy. They didn't ask for no support from anybody. And Seattle public schools all of a sudden started recognizing the high academic achievement and reading levels of Black children, and they wanted to know what was going on. And they came and found out that it was these Black parents and Black grandparents and the Black community that took control of the education of our children's lives and started this upward trend. So, of course, the Seattle Public School wants to get involved. So now all of a sudden funding starts going. So now the program starts growing, and it's growing, and we're seeing the impact of it. But the moment things got tough, what was the first funding you think they pulled? And by that time, we had become dependent upon it. And we watched the devastating impact of it. So now here we are with Haiti. So to your point, we watch historically when devastating natural conditions hit almost anywhere in the country, we watch the world respond to it. And in the case of Haiti, what are we doing at this point? Don't tell me, oh, well, we went to their aid once before. No, you should go to that aid every time it happens, because again, I'm reminded of what Victor Hugo said, when you think about what's going on with world politics around Haiti. I'm thinking about what Victor Hugo said when he said, if a soul is left in the darkness, sins shall be committed. The sin is not the crime is not he who committed the sin, but he who caused the darkness.
That's right.
So to all you evangelicals who want to talk about what you think God is doing, fool, you're the one that caused the darkness.
That's right.
Let us never, ever forget that. You caused this darkness. And our Haitian brothers and sisters are very resilient people. And we shall overcome this. That's what it reminds me of historically, being in Georgia.
No, absolutely. And I just want one more layer of context before we move on to some other news, is the fact that the last time this happened, we saw a level of exploitation that was blatant in front of the entire international community, and no one was held accountable. The Red Cross taking in some over $500 million and building 6 houses. The Clinton Foundation, all the organizations that went to Haiti and used the trauma. They love leveraging our Black trauma. But when it's time to actually do something for us, Georgia, they cut the funding.
Yeah. Yeah. It also reminds me of what happened in New Orleans, with Katrina. And I remember vividly there being this point that Kanye West was on television as they were doing this, televised fundraiser for people in Katrina, or people affected by Katrina. And Kanye West just blurts out, Bush doesn't care about Black people. And they were stuck. Everybody was shocked. They cut to Chris Tucker. Nobody knew exactly what to do. But the reality of it is there was some truth in what he was saying in that moment. And it ties directly into what you're saying, that these natural disasters oftentimes are the perfect opportunities for predators to come in and capitalize on the footage. Look how devastating this is. You can speak to it. You can just milk people who feel bad and who want to help, and they will send millions. And if you're not a good steward, if your heart is not in the right place, who is following up to see where those dollars go? And so absolutely, if you're not going to actually go to Haiti and help rebuild with your own 2 hands, help clean up, help bring people to safety, help pull people from under the rubble, if you're not going to do it firsthand, you better do some research on who you're sending money to go and do that work for you, because a lot of these people are not actually sending the funds directly to Haiti or to the families who are most impacted. They're keeping it for themselves.
But Georgia, I want you to juxtapose the amount of resources that went to Haiti and how it was handled through Red Cross, CGI, Clinton Initiative, and all these others. Juxtapose that to the way that funding was dealt for the 9/11 memorial. Whole different ball game about the level of accountability for that, right? And so again, even now when you talked about history, you talked about the Kanye West situation with Katrina, it reminded me of another historical issue when we as Black folks speak our truth. And that was when Eartha Kitt went to the White House around Vietnam, right? Lady Bird Johnson, they want to have this whole event. And Eartha Kitt just simply called it like it is. That, look, these are our babies that are going over there and in this unjust war. And of course, Eartha Kitt had to pay a price for that. Well, she didn't have to pay a price. But again, America did it. But the sister still bounced back. So this is the way that happens when you look at situations around Black folk.
Oh, you mean that it's not only that they take something away from us, it's that if we talk too much, they penalize us.
You gonna get punished. Trust and believe that, and believe that's what what went down with Eartha Kitt. But, again, when you study a sister like, there you go. When you study a sister like Nina Turner or Eartha Kitt, you find some sisters with some very strong-willed backbones, and they are resilient. They will bounce back.
My goodness. Well, that segment just fed my soul, because the truth is the truth is what matters the most, right? We may not be in a current position to stop the exploitation of our people, but y'all better damn well know we see it.
Yeah. And Ben, listen, the other side of that, now there's another side to it that we ought to have the moral courage to talk about as well. Okay. And that is inside, just like there are people who are inside our community who are exploitive, who look like us. We also got to look within Haiti and say, look, to the Haitian community, it is time for you to root out those individuals that don't have your best interest at heart and are going to be a part of this scheme. Because, again, when you look at it is hard for me to imagine that the mass number of folks in Haiti are not good folks. I remember the children that we went over and tried to help within the Caribbean nation, period. You got some of the most brilliant minds you can think of. But inside here, it is time for just like it is time for our community, and we do this, we root out those who got our skin but really ain't our kin. The same has to take place there as well to the people of Haiti. Let the devastation that took place the first time, don't let that lesson go unlearned. Don't put those same people in place. It's just like now, you couldn't convince me to give money to CGI, your Clinton Global Initiative, or to the Red Cross to come over in Haiti. You couldn't convince me to ever do that. Why? Because I saw what they did the first time. So the same thing internally. Those people who were in positions to bring about the change with the amount of resources that came in, do not allow those same individuals to be in place again to do a nothingness effort again. And I know that's a hard conversation, but I want us to take an earnest look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, no. It's a good one. And Georgia, I'll toss it to you before we shift gears here. But because what you're saying, Brother Mac, is that there's always somebody complicit with the exploitation of our people. And they usually look just like us, or some, differential.
Like Karen Owens, for instance,
Yeah. Karen Owens. Let me, Georgia, I don't know if you want to get in there. There's a couple of clips that we have that shows really the extent to which people have lost all sense of reason. I can't help but think, and I am not the literary anything, but I can't help but think of the speech in Julius Caesar where he said, "Oh, brutish beasts, men have lost all reason." This is where we are. We are at a stage in American democracy where these are the people who are causing the spread and the sustained spread of COVID-19. It's something that we can't escape. It is political. It should not be political, but because of the politicization of it, we see this type of madness. Let's take a look at the first clip from the San Diego public meeting that quickly went off the rails as the conspiracy theories infiltrated some very important proceedings. Take a look.
That's the wind. That's the wind of time. That's the wind of history. That's the wind blowing through your ancestors' bones, begging you to do the right thing.
Sir, can you please state your name for the audio record?
That
Sir?
Matt Baker is calling upon from Ocean Beach. The wind that is blowing through the black people, through the white people, through the Chinese people, through the Mexican Americans, to the people that built this building with their bare hands to raise up this nation. They are begging you, and they are blowing through your veins, and they should be putting a tingle up the spine of your back, and they should be begging you to do the right thing. You're about to open a pit of hell. You do not get a vaccine passport put on us. Do you think that the 4 feet of marble that holds you above high in this chamber will help you from the fate of humanity which you are unleashing? No! It won't! Your children and your children's children will be subjugated! They will be asked, how many vaccines have you had? Have you been a good little Nazi? Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! Hail Fauci! There's been a lot of talk about the Nuremberg Code. Well, I brought you a copy. You are all in violation of Section 1. Yes, you, Dr. Wooten. You are in violation of the Nuremberg Code, which is international law. And the definition is...
Thank you, sir. Your time has expired.
Oh, judgment. Thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Sister Georgia, they are this angry and this violent, opposing the solution to us getting out of the pandemic. They are literally the antithesis of what we stand for. What are your thoughts?
So Ben, I'm sorry.
Is Georgia going? Because Georgia's got. I want to.
I'll be quick here. Listen, if we could only get those who understand the science and the medicine and the solutions to be this passionate, we might be in a better position. But unfortunately, why is it that those who are advocating for things that are going to ultimately lead to our destruction as a nation, that are going to lead to the destruction of our democracy, and ultimately that's claiming the lives of our children right now across this entire country, why do they always get the microphone? Why are they showing up to these school board meetings 200 deep? You know, I need the people who understand the true solutions to have that type of passion. And maybe, just maybe, we can get DeSantis to remove the ban on the mask mandate. And maybe, just maybe, if we could get 200 people who believe in the vaccine, who understand the power of wearing the mask, if we could get them to have that much passion, maybe Biden would say our children will have a greater chance of living if we decide to not force them to go back to school.
That's right.
You know, and so at this point, I have seen so much. I've seen so much of this on the internet. And I want to thank God for the internet, because it has really been a way to spotlight the absolute foolishness that's happening in our country. And I think that we should be aware of it, because if we're not, we'll be blindsided. But it's just unfortunate at this point that so many people who understand the science and the medicine are standing back and they're watching these people come forward. And a lot of us are sitting back and we're not doing anything. We're not saying anything. We're not combating it. We're acting like we don't have a voice and we don't have power too. And so I think at this point, it's time for people to start speaking up and holding our politicians accountable for things like a ban on a mask mandate in school that's resulted in more than 8,000 children being quarantined.
And see, Georgia, the only thing that I was trying to get in was to understand, was he speaking for or against masks and vaccinations? So to understand that he was speaking against it, I have absolutely nothing else to offer to what you just presented us. Good Lord.
Yeah, you can look at his T-shirt. His T-shirt is Lady Liberty with the mask on, and the mask says slave. And I had the same question for the first half of what he was saying when he was saying, do the right thing, do the right thing. You kind of want to lean in and say, yes, brother, yes, do the right thing.
Right.
But then when you hear him say that you're in violation and you look at his T-shirt, you can start to piece it together. And that's the thing I do think more people are going to have to be leery of, is that you're going to have to pay attention to the details, because someone like him can easily try to disguise their message as do the right thing. But what is the right thing? And it just depends on if you're believing the truth or you're believing lies. The one thing I know about the universe, though, and being a woman who does have faith, is the truth will always come to the light. And the numbers don't lie. So we can sit here and we can debate about this thing all we want. We can make the pandemic politicized all the way through 2025. If we want to, we can keep this thing going. But at the end of the day, if you don't want to believe the science or the medicine, you don't believe in the vaccinations, you don't believe in the mask, look at the numbers. The numbers don't lie. You can look at those numbers and see that there was a huge incline all the way until the lockdown. And every time we had a lockdown, you saw those numbers plummet. What does that tell you?
Yes. And Georgia, look, I gotta, the other side of the coin is this. I get that a guy like this and others can get the microphone and spout off whatever conspiracy they so desire. I get that. But I would tell you, from talking to my mama to talking to very close friends of mine, all of us who have been vaccinated, one of my friends said, Carl, look, I've just thrown up my hands. There's nothing else I know what to say to our people when they're still refusing for whatever reason not to take the vaccination. I've thrown up my hands. I mean, I've literally had at least 4 or 5 of my friends, very closest friends that I'm very respectful of, very thought-provoking, who have said to me, I just don't know what else to say, Carl. I'm done. I don't know what else to say. And I'm at that point where, I've even watched somebody who was very close to me where a family member died, where there were members of the family who chose not to get vaccinated. And then a member of the family died. And they're still questioning, Georgia, I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I don't know if Fauci, I don't know if you switched Obama with that guy. Oh, no. And Obama gave the same type of passionate plea to get vaccinated. I'm not sure it would help. I will, listen, if I could guarantee not to bring something back to my house, I would be right behind him screaming at the top of my lungs, the exact opposite of what this clown is saying. Because that passion, you're right, Georgia, that's the passion that's missing, because they're getting our children killed. And I promise you, Brother Mac, it is closer to home than you think. We have people closest to us that won't do this, that won't go get the vaccination. And I want to tie it in. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I want to tie something in. Those infiltrators, there are people who are in our own camp who are selling out our people to the ignorance of conspiracy theory. And I believe that they're doing it for profit. And because they have done such a successful job, we have infiltrated throughout the Black community a level of anti-science, anti-knowledge, ignorance that is rooted in conspiracy theory, and it's got to come down. We're going to have to destroy it piece by piece, brick by brick, like it or not. Let's go to a break. We'll be back. Pascal is going to join us for the next half hour. Georgia, I saw your babies was up already. Thank you so much. I don't want to hold you much longer because I'm going to be an hour behind you. What you got to go do now, I got to do in an hour. So thank you.
Yeah, I've been fighting them every time we cut to B-roll. I'm like, be quiet, turn the phone down. Here's a piece of candy.
Thank you, sis. We'll see you tomorrow.
We're gonna make some cereal and stuff.
We'll see you in the morning. Thanks so much.
Have a wonderful
Dwayne,
day.
take us to a break. We'll come right back after this.
I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still still fly, I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Pills to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, so right now. Say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it out. It's your time, oh. Cheers to all the haters, cause you proved to me that rising to the top was my destiny. And you can see whatever from behind me, but I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go. It could all be worse, I could be a hater like you. It could all be worse. Clothes to make the man, but that poison's gonna kill you. From the inside out, it's time to say it with your chest now, say it with your chest now. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it out. It's your time, oh. If you're on the bus, say yeah. Yeah. If you're on the train, say yeah. Yeah. If you gotta walk, say yeah. Yeah. Everybody's going somewhere. Yeah. Young or old, I really don't care. Yeah. Life has never really been fair. Yeah. So put your fist up in the air. Yeah. Say yeah. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it. I'm young, I'm free, can't nobody take me here and now. It's my time to run it out. It's my time, it's my time, it's my time to ride it out. It's your time, oh.
I promise you that's my favorite song of, I don't know. That's my, on the screen now, you see three brothers. To the right of me, Brother Pascal. Sir, thank you so much for joining me this morning. How are you?
I am good. I'm getting my coffee in. I'm trying to wake up a little bit, but I'm happy to be here. Happy to talk about all this craziness and stuff. Yeah. You know, I didn't know that Fast Times a Ridgemont High guy. I didn't know he aged that so badly. He didn't age very well. Damn.
Hello,
See,
my
this
name
is why you don't do
I'm
drugs.
a San Diego resident. I'm a parent, and I'm pissed off. We should not be spending our time.
I didn't want to go. Hold the clip. I know
he's just showing
that one. That's the guy.
I'm talking about that dude. You know what I'm saying? The dude from Fast Times at Ridgemont High did not age very well. That's all I'm saying. Like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Wow.
Brother, just below me is Brother Carl Mack. He cool in the gang. Brother Mac, you said that you could see this coming. I feel an undertow of that. I do believe that I saw it coming because, matter of fact, I promise you in my notes somewhere, I literally wrote out something about 3 years ago, a plot line to a movie that I wanted to write about a virus that couldn't be stopped because of viral issues in terms of like clicks, people needing clicks and news agencies needing to get all that kind of ignorance. And then so here comes COVID. And what I didn't see coming was that so many people would be committed to their conspiracy theory all the way to the point of death. I got a clip. I want to play real quick the second clip from that evening, because if you guys thought this guy was bad, check this next one out.
There's more?
Hello, my name is Derek Greco. I'm a San Diego resident. I'm a parent, and I'm pissed off. We should not be spending our time here and our life force energy fighting people who lack critical thinking and common sense, who beat the drum of an industry that has cured 0 diseases in our lifetime, yet want to push a vaccine on us that they can't name one ingredient in that promotes human health. This is also an industry that has indemnified itself from damages to human beings since 1986, and this woman says that's what we have to do to be healthy? Excuse me. Let's start looking at BMIs. Let's start looking at making ourselves a bad host for this and every other malady. Okay? And frankly, I'd have a mask on my face too, and I'd be hiding myself from society if I were you as well. Okay? You all are an abject joke that I've had to be here and spend my time here. Okay? This doesn't add up. And when it doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense, you know what that is? That's the definition of propaganda. And history will judge you all accordingly. You know what's funny? Saturn is in the same place as it was during the American Revolution of 1776, and you are the redcoats. What I'm here to tell you is that this is not the hill you want to die on, although a lot of you are already bought and paid for. I can see it in the egomaniacal rolls of your fake smiles behind your masks. This is not an agenda that you want to have your name attached to, where you have demoralized children. And come on, guys, do you think putting a mask on your face and recycling your oxygen is good for your health? Can you tell me why these companies are indemnified? And can you tell me why this industry that we're supposed to pray to like a god hasn't cured 1 disease in our lifetime?
I don't know where there's so much there's so much meat on the bone of that conspiracy that we could literally be dissecting it for months to come. But I think that's part of the problem, is that we have to expend so much energy, Brother Pascal, debunking this foolishness that is really should just be laughable.
Did he talk about Saturn? Did he just mention Saturn? I'm sorry, I'm still on Saturn. Did he talk about Saturn and then turn left and say, y'all are redcoats? I'm sorry. He off-roaded there.
So for context, he said that, good morning, everyone. He said that that Saturn is in the same position as it was in 1776.
Right.
Lord.
I'm just making sure that I'm not crazy.
No, you heard that.
A few hits of that meth today and decided we're going to talk about Saturn in this speech. I wonder how many times he practiced this speech in front of his kids. They said, honey, see what I'm about to do?
I know, his knees were knocking. You know, he was scared out of his bed. Brother Mac, he tried to act like he was the epitome of beauty and strength. And that, I see why you guys like this level of ignorance. Why is there an intersection between this level of ignorance and this kind of vanity, toxicity from this whiteness? What is it?
Hey, man, look. If ever I saw an example, this is it. I ain't saying the brother's on crack, but he damn sure sounded crackish. That's it for me. But I'm gonna say this to you. Listen, in all seriousness, there was a local Texas legislator. I think his name was Scott Appley. I want you to remember, and if you don't know Scott Appley, look it up. Unfortunately, right? Scott Appley had the same exact type of rhetoric. Even went so far as to put a bunch of masks together and torch them on YouTube. I don't even think it was 2 weeks later, COVID claimed him. So when this guy wants to talk about logic and rhetoric, and again, on this show, we've said it many times, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Show me the data, player. Just simply show me the data where 99% of the people who are vaccinated are dying from COVID. Show me that. You may not know what's in it, but just simply show me that all of us who have been vaccinated, we're dying at a greater rate than those of you who haven't been.
And I'm flipping to reverse that.
Yeah, let's reverse engineer that. Okay. And I'm afraid to say that should we follow this guy and he keeps up this type of rhetoric, first of all, I wouldn't be surprised if he's been vaccinated. I really wouldn't be.
Exactly. So because you can't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There's self-preservation, Pascal. I just that's the last straw. You can't tell me that these people have gone to well, actually you can, because they're out there dying. They have suspended all self-preservation. Was it you? Who was that brought up? Was that James? James, DJ Exclusive. He's out today because he was with us on Monday when we were covering this. And this week has been really hard for the team. And that's why Rebecca and obviously Rebecca and Pascal, thank you for stepping in the gap here. And we know that you're mourning as well, Haiti. But James said something, and we'll come full circle. But James said something the other day. And it had to do with the movie with Mark Wahlberg in it, where all of a sudden, like, there was something being released from the atmosphere that was making everyone lose their sense of self-preservation. And they were just throwing themselves off the bridges and you know, they were killing themselves. That was supposed to be a movie, Pascal.
Right. That's supposed to be a movie. But unfortunately, this is the world that we live in right now. And the thing is with this kind of stuff, this is what sucks about this whole situation, that this is being put out there. This is being reshared. This is being seen. This is obviously important for us to watch, because it's always nice to see people say crazy things like this, right? It makes us feel more sane, right?
Yes, it does.
But what's scary, the scariest part of this whole video, yes, it's funny. Hell yeah, it's funny. Okay, Saturn. But at the same time, the one thing that's very scary about this whole situation is the people that are egging him on, that are cheering him on. All these people in the background where he's sitting there. Not only does he have a problem with the vaccine, whether to get the poke or not to get the poke, but he also has a problem with them wearing a mask. And it's kind of like, wait a second. We need to do whatever we can so we can all stay above the planet, above the earth, not 6 feet under.
Deep. Yeah,
exactly. You know what I mean? So when you see something like this, that for me, it's so frustrating because it only emboldens this narrative, this particular narrative, just like the other guy, the Fast Times of Ridgemont High guy, and this guy. And I'm sure there's more people. We've been seeing more and more of these videos coming out like crazy. And yes, some of us are literally doing the smart ones, right? The intelligent ones, like this panel right here, you know, like this show, like the people who watch this show, you know, we are all sitting here going, laughing our asses off, or we're shaking our heads like this is crazy. But there's another group that are watching this and going, damn right. They're cheering him on, going, this is exactly how I feel. I need to do the same thing. And they're going to do the same thing. They're going to go to those board meetings and spat out this crazy rhetoric. It's insane to me.
But Pascal, look, you know, I had to, you know, as I'm sitting here listening to you, and I'm saying, Ben is saying it, Brother Pascal is saying it, I'm saying it. Why is it so obvious? You know, so I had to just take one more step back. See,
sure.
I'm convinced, I think all of us are convinced that the reason we got negative 45 was because of America electing 44 and electing him for 2 terms, electing Obama for 2 terms. So in America's just rage of frustration, they decided we gonna go get the craziest mofo we can come up with. We don't give a damn what he says. We going to get him. And they went and got 45.
Run some B-roll of Donald Trump. Put some B-roll of Donald Trump up.
And then, but then, Pascal, I want you to follow me on this.
Sure.
See, so in America's rage, they went and got 45. And now look at all the things that 45 did. 45 even insulted John McCain, a military veteran, but they still went. 45 insulted white women, but they still went and got him. Mexicans, blacks, everybody. And America still went down the path. So there was a group of people that sat on the sideline and they said, now, damn, this boy is going way overboard and he getting away with this shit. So maybe this is the new playbook. So now, here comes the pandemic. Here comes the virus. And against all science, Trump says, hey, don't worry about it. We got this thing under control. In April, it'll all go away. It's just the Asian flu. He says all he can to dismiss this. And this virus runs absolutely rampant to the point that it killed 600,000+. But they still thinking. And now look at the Three Musketeers under their D'Artagnan. Who was the Three Musketeers? It was Reeves of Mississippi, DeSantis of Florida, Eves of Alabama. These governors, following the lead of their lead musketeer, pushes the same rhetoric.
That's right.
And now all the little minions out there decide, you know what, we still pissed off about the fact that they elected this black president. We still pissed off about it, and we ain't gonna let that go. So if our great white hope, -45, is anti-vaccine, anti-mask, and we want to turn this into a political football, damn it, we will too.
I want to.
That's the closest I could put to all of this nonsense. It's that they're still following the playbook of their lead musketeer, and the rest of the little mouses are just running right down that rat hole.
Facts.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Facts.
I gotta share one last clip to illuminate what you're saying even more. David, introduce this clip 3 and help us to understand who this particular person is, and then I'll expound on it.
So in this clip, we hear from a woman that says her family came from Afghanistan in the 80s, and she recently found Jesus. A certain political party made her go crazy,
Don't do this to me.
and ruined her life.
Oh no!
Just play the clip.
Grew up here. I'm a former healthcare worker and a first-generation Afghan. I'm here because I'm just completely disappointed in every decision that you guys have been making. My family came here from Afghanistan. They ran away from the Taliban, from the rule that they were going to do over us. And they came here in the early 80s, and they made something of themselves, and I wanted to make something of myself too. And you know what? I used to be a Democrat, and that party drove me crazy, and it made my life terrible. And by the grace of God, I came to Jesus Christ last year. It's a miracle a person like me did from where I'm from. So I'm here to tell you the evil I see, because darkness runs from light. They don't want to see the light because their deeds were evil, just like Jesus said. You guys are just empty. It's like the Pink Floyd song. All in all, you're all just bricks in the wall, and we could just flick you like this, and we're going to do it. And I'm Afghan. You know what? We've been through so much that you guys are nothing. My Afghan people have faced terrorists, and you know what you guys are? You're acting like terrorists. And the Taliban, Nathan Fletcher, from what your stance, you'd get along with the Taliban very, very well. They would applaud you. So I can't even believe I'm here. This is amazing. I am fueled. I want to live my life, and you guys are taking that away from me, just like they've taken away from my people. And these are my people too. I'm a warrior, an Afghan warrior, and we're not going to back down, because we haven't backed down, and we're still not going to back down. And I'm going to get all my Middle Eastern people in San Diego to come up behind me, because they listen to me. I can get them here and confront you. And guess what? We own a lot of liquor stores and marketplaces too.
Ma'am,
thank you for identifying yourself.
And also, I hyperventilated twice in the hospital from wearing a mask. Nobody listened to me. My pulmonologist didn't listen to me either. It's just evil. They're evil and against the good.
Oh, she identified herself. Oh, we own a lot of liquor stores. What good you doing to the black community, sis? Because you sound like you exploiting the black community. But that's just one part of it. There's so much more. Bro, Matt, go for it.
I gotta say this. Look, man, sister, if you are such a warrior, and the Taliban, as you put them, the Taliban, if you're such a warrior, and now those little sisters over there who were starting the education and all the restrictions they got on women, as such a warrior, leave this godforsaken country and go on back over there to Afghanistan and handle that business. Take care of that Taliban. Show us what you're about. Be about that business, baby girl.
But she
Be about that
found
business.
But she found Christ.
Found Jesus.
She found Christ, though, so it'd be bad. It'd be a bad idea for her to go back. It'd be over.
Except it wouldn't be. See. Now you want to know where the real conspiracy is? Not one of these people would have a problem with us sending the military back over there to wage an unjust war, right? So from her context, she found Jesus, and she's doing the Lord's work here, and what she's doing is intersecting perfectly with what Republicans need done to make sure that they can continue exploiting the war on terror. Now, I went a little bit meta, but it's right there in front of us. But I digress. Who else? Who else got something?
So wait a minute. So if she found Jesus, is that what all them liquor stores for? Just to give wine at communion? I'm just.
She found Jesus because they put their liquor store right next to the church down in the
That's
hood.
what it is.
Facts.
Right by my church. Facts on
That's
facts.
why you regret coming on yet?
You know, I feel for her. You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I feel for her is like she's been preparing this for a long time. She's had this in her back pocket for a long time. All that random rant that she just did, that was all over the place, right? She's been practicing. She's had this in the back of her mind for a long time. Like I said, we've been locked up for a very, very long time, all of us. So we're feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying?
Is it a requirement that we have one extra Haitian on the show every single day? Is that a requirement? Because because you just hit that locked up. Was it Akon?
Yeah, that was Akon. Yeah, you're welcome. I'm proud.
It was a good note. It was a good note.
Yeah,
it was a good note. You could. Do you have an album, Pascal? Do you have an album? Did you record anything?
No. I mean, I record some things from time to time. I actually sent you something, random thing. I did send you a parody that I just recorded yesterday, so you should check it out.
So Pascal, you got to help me with this though.
Go, please.
So given that she wants to be so indoctrinated into American culture, and being an Afghan, I'm not sure we can call her a Karen. Is she a Kathy or a Karenite? I mean, what?
That is a very good question. I think Karen transcends all race and creeds and even gender now. So, she a Karen. She a hard Karen.
Let the party continue.
Yes.
Bernie Mac? Whose line was that?
I think basically what Pascal should have said right there, Brother Mac, she is a Karen, like it or not.
Oh, snap. Next time I'll do that.
Now listen, speaking of like it or not, we don't have the like it or not brand up, but the like it or not spirit is here. The like it or not brand is for Queen Rebecca, and she is out today. Obviously she is, we're still talking about, I mean, Pascal, thank you for your strength, brother, for you to be able to come on and share this joy with us, despite the fact that you still have family. The people of Haiti are hurting, and so are you. So thank you for sharing your strength with us.
No, I appreciate it. Even so, yesterday, I thought about not doing a show just because of all the heaviness that's been going on recently with my family. We're still trying to find out stories for my mother's side of the family. My father's side of the family, extended family, everyone, thank God, is okay. But on my mother's side, we're still trying to find out more information because we do have family in the southern part of Haiti. So we're still waiting. We're still trying to find out more information. The numbers, the death toll, I hate saying that, but the death toll has exceeded 1,900. I think it's scraping right underneath 2,000 souls that have been lost so far as they still dig through this rubble and debris from this earthquake. It's been a tough week. Long story short, it's been a very, very tough week. And I understand that it's been a tough week for you. as well, Benjamin. And I just wanted to say my condolences to you and your.
Oh man,
well,
my bad.
You know,
Ooh, I actually forgot all about that, man. Damn.
I'm sorry, my bad.
Yeah. Funny how that works.
Right.
No, but you know what, man? We lost a family friend that I've known since I was 8 years old. And y'all, we gotta uproot what I'm getting ready to say is in no way affiliated with the loss of our family friend. Mm-hmm. But Brother Mac, it has everything to do with the closeness and the proximity of the danger of this ignorance of conspiracy theories. And we got to uproot that out of the black community, man, because it is so deep. And we're on the case, because I think we got a starting point from the good doctor. We got a good starting point to find out where this funding is coming from that is saturating the black community with a level of conspiracy theory that we should have addressed a long time ago. But here we are. If we don't address it now, there's going to be a lot more black people as a percentage of our population that will die as compared to the number of white people who are going to die as a percentage of their population, Brother Mac.
Ben, I remember asking the question, why is it that our people are hell-bent on believing these conspiracies? Now, I get it from a historical perspective of the Tuskegee experiment and likes. I get that. I really do. But I was like, look, in today's time where we got so many black journalists, you gotta know that somebody would have reported if they're trying to put a tracking, they're trying to put a tracking system in your arm. Fam, they got the tracking system when you're walking around with your phone. They got the tracking system every time you use that debit card. They tracking you. Okay, so that's not the issue. But I kept looking and asking, and finally somebody sent me some information about Robert Kennedy Jr. I think it was Robert. Is it Robert Kennedy?
Yeah, Robert. Jr.? Yeah, RFK Jr. Yeah.
Robert Kennedy Jr. And the amount of lies and the fact that he absolutely targets the black community for everything about the fact that vaccines that we've taken in the past created this incredible amount of autism in children. But literally everything that he is saying, there has not been one medical organization in the world of credence to validate what he had to say. But then the point really got made to me when I read the article about his family coming out and saying, little Robert is trouble. He is trouble, but it is clear. And then the other part that made so much, that really perked up my antennas. There was this sister who is a professor at Yale, I believe. And so Robert Kennedy decided to do this documentary about the racism of medicine, something along that lines. And forgive me for not having the exact title of it. But he went to this sister. And this sister from Yale is a historical expert on the abuses of this country using medicine against black folks. So she's an absolute expert. She didn't know what his angle was. And so like many times, she just agreed to be, to give a perspective. And he took maybe 45 seconds of this video, of this interview with her, and then wrapped it around all these other lies to create this situation. And then there was another black guy that was also a part of this who did not know. And both of these people are very furious about what Robert Kennedy is doing. So then I called on another friend of mine who I know had a strong political background. And I meant to share this with him to say, I couldn't believe this. And he said to me, Carl, we've all known for a long time that this brother has been pushing this kind of agenda for a long time. I had no idea of what he was doing. So I started listening a lot closer to what black folk were telling me about why they weren't taking the vaccination.
That's right.
I'd be damned if it ain't parroting the very information that Robert Kennedy says that he is targeting the black community with. And this is the type of information that is coming out. And this is arguably why it's coming out. And it's about time that we address that fool with that situation.
Somebody in one of the comments, let me tell y'all about the comment section. The comment section is sent from Satan. And I don't even want to blame the devil for that one, because it's actually worse. It's from the trolls of the internet, and they're here for one purpose, and that is to distract us from our mission. One of the comments that they made was, Ben, you got to stop reiterating what people say. Brother Mac, you mean to tell me that an heir of the Kennedy family, Jackie Onassis and John F. Kennedy's brother, Robert Kennedy, who was the attorney general during the time of John Kennedy's presidency, during the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis, very influential, both brothers assassinated, tragically gunning down the progress of our country for an entire generation, if I could add a little bit of commentary there. But their nephew, who was a reaction to them, is now out here spreading the seeds of conspiracy theory in the black community. Am I reiterating correctly?
Oh, without question, maybe not reiterating strong enough. Because again, with that name, that money, and the type of influence that he has, and the fact that he is absolutely targeting the black community. Now, trust and believe, family. The first time that I heard this, I was as skeptical as one could get. So I went to do my own research. And look, I wasn't looking for some blog about Robert Kennedy. I'm looking for what I would consider credible sources. And I would tell you that in the world of media, NPR is one of the best, most credible sources for me. That along with members of the black press, certain members of the black press. Now, some that's out there in La La Land. Okay. So certainly, I look for the credibility of the sources that I'm reading. And I'm simply saying to you all, anybody, just go out and read the number of credible sources about the damage that the namesake of what many black folks hung on their wall. They hung a picture of John F. Kennedy on the wall, right next to white Jesus and Martin Luther King Jr.
And right next to Barack Obama. They still got him up. They up there by Barack Obama.
Well, listen, man, based on what John F. Kennedy did to Sammy Davis Jr., I done pulled this picture down off the wall now. I'm just telling you that. And based on what Jackie Onassis did with Ann Lowe about the wedding dress, fuck that. I done just took them off the wall. I'm just letting you know. Now, if you need some deeper insight to that, I can give it to you if you need it. But if you got it,
we got it. We good.
Okay. But with that being said, yes, that member of the Kennedy, that namesake of the Kennedy family is spreading these types of conspiracy theories and fears within our community. And it appears that we are absolutely taking it, in the words of Brother Malcolm, hook, line, and sinker on dry ground.
Yeah, because Brother Pascal, go ahead, Brother Mac, finish that thought.
No, I was just about to push this thing over to Brother Pascal and say it is so incumbent upon us to continue to push against this type of rhetoric.
Absolutely. I do agree with that. And I keep saying this because everybody has the concerns about these conspiracy theories, the Tuskegee experiments, et cetera. I'm just saying, as far as the black community, I just urge every single last one of y'all, if you are thinking about doing it, thinking about not doing it because of things you just heard just through hearsay, I just urge you to at least do your due diligence, do the research, look the things up, make a decision then. That's what I'd say. For those of y'all who are hesitant, or you're spouting out stuff that may sound a little far-fetched, if you haven't done the research, do so first before you make your decision, or before you start spouting out anything just because you heard it from a friend of yours, or just because you heard something from your own echo chambers that you see on your social medias. Do the due diligence, do the research, look the stuff up, and make sure that's the right choice for you.
I got to give one caveat. With the exception of this show, YouTube is not research. You know what I mean? Because we be sending people to YouTube, and this is where they actually excel. I want to be mindful of our time, Brother Pascal. I know you got to get ready for your show. So if you need to get out of here, I want to actually give you an opportunity to do so now and tell the audience where they can come and see your episode that's coming up in a few minutes.
Well, thank you, Benjamin. So you can go to youtube.com/The Pascal Show. Or just type in The Pascal Show. You'll be able to find me. I'm live in about 24 minutes from now. So, no pressure. but hop on over after this show is over, okay? Yeah. PASCAL, The Pascal Show. Hop over and let's have some fun.
Absolutely, man. And thank you, in solidarity with you and all the people of Haiti, of the diaspora. We are going to be not only thinking about you, but for those of you who accept it, we'll be praying for you.
Appreciate it. And thank you for having me on again.
And
Absolutely,
Brother Pascal,
man,
first time I got a chance to sit with you, man, it's an absolute pleasure. Look forward to chopping it over.
Brother Mac, I just learned so many things from you, my brother. I'm serious. It started with Benjamin spouting out some Shakespeare. Now you talk about Three Musketeers. I'm impressed. Like, I bowed down. Y'all incredible. Y'all.
My man. Oh, man. And we're going to see you tomorrow, too. So that's dope, man.
Yeah,
thank you for coming.
I'll be back.
And pinch hitting and supporting, man, giving us this kind of backup that we need, man. So, hey, listen, we're actually going to end today at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, I want everyone who is watching us right now, everyone, I don't care if you're on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, wherever, at 10 o'clock when we end this stream, I need you to go over to my brother's stream and give him the biggest following today that he has gotten in any single day, because we've done it before. We could do it again. Y'all go do that for me, for Pascal stepping in for me. Thanks so much, brother.
Appreciate that. I approve that message.
I thought that you would.
Oh, I most definitely do. I appreciate that, my brother.
Hey, Brother Mac, you can hang. Can you hang about 15 more minutes? How's your day looking at?
Yeah, look, man. I'm right there. I'm your wingman, Captain. I'm your wingman.
Hey, man. We got a hell of a good thing going on here. Let's play one song then. Let's play one song. Let Pascal get out of here. I'm going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit one more story. Pascal, what's up?
Oh, no, nothing. I was just saying bye.
Oh, see you later. Play whatever you got, Dwayne, and we'll be right back with the rest of the show.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. Ooh, no, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me, no, no, no. I know it's hard to be polite, and it's easy being petty. My mama used to tell me, gotta use you when he ready. Man, it's crazy how my brother said it could have been my cell. It's either prison or a grave, that's what everybody tell me. Man, life ain't a beach, it's a female dog. I'm staying 10 toes down, though I still might fall. Oh yeah, now I done came through, knocking pictures off your wall. Cause loving people who persecute you, it's still a tough be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel like disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. Ooh, no, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No. See, it's hard to be polite. It's easy being kitty. Mama used to tell me, gotta use you when he ready. Cause I ain't working on my own timing. Ain't got no diamonds on me, but I stay shining. Yeah, yeah. They say the world would be a better place if we take out the hate.
Stop all the hate right now.
Yeah, let's keep it real. It'd be better if we just subtract the fake.
Oh, you fake.
Yeah, so be a light up on my path and a lamp under my feet. I know my faith strong, but my flesh still kinda weak. When that victory be looking like the verge of defeat, and I feel that disrespect, help me turn my other cheek and say sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, I ain't been right more than I've been wrong, and it still can't hurt me. No, it just can't hurt me. No. No, you just can't hurt me. No, you just can't hurt me. No, no, no.
And the non-gender conforming individuals to an amalgamation of content and content creators who collide at the intersection of Blackness and the Black liberation movement. And it's called The Benjamin Dixon Show, on the clock and like it or not, with Rebecca Zor, Georgia Fort, DJ exclusive, yours truly, and none other than Dr. Carl Mack. How you doing, brother?
Good, my brother. How you doing? Missed you, man.
Hey, man, I missed you too, man. I love that we, when we both get busy, we may not talk for like weeks, but we know when we come back to it, we got some things we got to talk about, chop it up on air.
Like it never, ever happened, bro. We're going to do that. And when you put the call in, you listen, man, just for those who may have been wondering where the brother was hiding at, man, I had to go deep on some historical stuff, man. I had Google tripping about, basically trying to tell our history, thinking they could tell it better than I had, than we could tell it. So listen,
wait a minute, because hey, Brother Mac, can I interject? Because I don't know to what extent that you feel or want to discuss that, but my goodness, that was what you told me there blew me. Just completely.
Oh yeah, man. Listen, man. I'm not tripping about it. If they learn from it, we learn from it. Now, and again, I'll be very frank with you. It was a pretty good sized contract, that we had entered into, but not at the expense of messing with our history like that, whitewashing our history, telling it the wrong way. But I will say to their credit, when we started the meeting, the first thing I said is, look, we need to agree that we're going to have courageous conversation. And when they agreed to have courageous conversation, then the brother was able to put it out there. But it's not about my ability to put it out there. It's about your ability not to hear me, but to listen to me. Because, see, there's a difference between hearing and listening. If you hear me, and trust and believe this, family, when your enemy hears you, and your enemy, at the time that you could be in a fight with your spouse, right? At that time, y'all kind of enemies, right? But see, when a person hears you, that means that the moment you open their mouth, they're fashioning a response to whatever it is you're saying.
That's right.
When a person is listening to you, they're ready to be very proactive to do what is in the best interest to resolve the situation.
That's right.
So I'm glad to say that Google stopped hearing me and they started listening to me. Otherwise, this shit would have came to an end, like it or not.
Like it or not. Oh, my Boy, we in sync with the stars. We're in line with the earth. I got it backwards. Have we played Light 'Em Up yet? Because even if we have, I still want to close the show out with it again. That song is my national anthem. We also have, I want to circle back to a couple of things before we get out of here, because I do want to cut at 10 o'clock. I have an interview that I did with John Nichols of The Nation. And it is, we talked about two of his recent articles, one dealing with Republican Ron Johnson and the unbelievable efficacy of his grift. I mean, I thought I've seen politicians get bought out before, but Ron Johnson took it to the tune of $500 million. And John Nichols is on the case. I spoke with him about that. Also, I spoke with him about the census and about how the redistricting is going to really put a challenge to American democracy in a way that could cause some irrevocable changes and damage. They could break democracy with the results of the last census and the redistricting. And John Nichols, who's a brilliant mind, he is on the case. So I had a chance to talk with him and interview him. I do not have enough time this morning to play it this morning, but what I will do is make sure that everyone who is a patron of any of our shows, whether it be Like It or Not, On the Clock, The Benjamin Dixon Show, we want to get you the interview first. So go to patreon.com/.
It's already on Patreon.
It's well, and that's why I love David. That's what I love, David. All right. Everybody else, you get it tomorrow, not because we don't love you, but because I got Brother Mac, because you're here and I need to hear what you got to say.
I'm going to tell you this. When I think about politicians being bought out today, for the longest time, it did not, and I promise to you, man, it was like an epiphany hit me yesterday, where the first time that I really saw it. And I had been overlooking it all this time. And I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. But maybe, I'd love to be able to sit down with a brother or sister who is far more scholarly than I am about this. But man, do you know where I think the playbook came from on Black politicians selling out? I really think it started, this is tough to say, but one of the most shining examples to me is Booker T. Washington.
Oh, I knew you were going to do it.
You go back and read Booker T. Washington, the Atlanta Compromise, cast down your buckets. Look, man, don't worry about voting. Just be good, work your ass off, and hope white folks love you. And W.B. Du Bois and the brothers and sisters of the Niagara movement came up. Man, sit your ass down. We ain't trying to hear that nonsense from you. So they had to come up, that was their response.
Oh, man.
But keep in mind, though, even W.B. Du Bois and the brothers and sisters of the Niagara movement would tell you that Booker T. Washington was one of the most influential, richest, certainly influential men in this country. I mean, to the point that you got the Ford family coming down there trying to figure out what George Washington Carver was doing inside there, making dyes and things, and basically putting together the whole automotive line for him. So Booker T. Washington had a lot of influence. But this whole cash your bucket down and this whole Atlanta Compromise, it just made me think of the number of Black folk. Like for instance, who was the guy is it the Attorney General in Kentucky? Who just
Daniel Cameron.
Yeah. And just go down the line. This guy that we just had on from Florida who done voted for everything again. The only thing he voted for that could be remotely construed as Black would have been Juneteenth. Everything else he voted against. He don't want no investigation into the insurrection of January 6th. He ain't voting for the George Floyd police reform bill.
You talking about a black man?
Black man that we had that I done seen him on several shows out of Florida. He's a congressional member out of Florida. I think the last time I saw him, he may have been on Roland show.
Somebody in the chat room help us connect the dots on that. But I'm sure your point still remains.
Yeah. So the point is that we've seen a number, and then when you go outside of the political and you look at somebody like Karen Owens, Armstrong, you look at so many of these people, right? You have to look at it and say, when you ask yourself why, well, they get endeared with this money. They start getting paid. They just basically followed the playbook of what went down with Booker T. Washington. Because trust and believe, Tuskegee started getting a lot of philanthropic efforts, handouts coming that way, right? And there was a reason why. I mean, when you got a Black man as powerful as Booker T. Washington telling Black folk to just cast down your buckets, don't worry about trying to get the vote, don't worry about going to college, just let's go learn a trade and let's hope that white folks like us. And then they become our friends and we're going to improve race relations that way. That was Booker T. Washington's message. W.B. Du Bois is like, check his ass in the Kunta Hotel. We ain't really trying to hear that shit, right?
Wait. I got. I'd be remiss if I didn't give I mean, it's not as though it's we got to have that debate.
Okay.
Let's have that debate, because
Okay.
I'm actually of the persuasion of W.E.B. Du Bois, but I absolutely I've absolutely seen the strategy of those who stayed away from them white folks and just went and got them some land and tilled the land, and they still got thousands of acres around the country to this day. I got to ask the question, who was right? So we could have that debate.
Well, but you know, I'm saying this, Ben. I'm saying that it is possible that it could have been the best of both worlds. Yes. But to all of a sudden tell black folk, cast down your buckets, don't worry about trying to vote, don't do this type of thing.
Come on.
You know, so again,
that's a bit too much. That's a step too far.
Right. And I don't have a problem with black folk today being part of the Republican Party. But damn, player, when you watching the kind of nonsense, when you watching voter suppression, and you now want to try to come and justify that kind of bullshit, and then to say to us today, black folks, well, you just need to remember we're the party of Lincoln. Okay.
Don't you love it when they try that? They think they're smart when they do that.
So listen, okay. I do remember that you are the party of Lincoln. And for those who don't know historically, we as black folks, when we got involved in politics, our first true entry into politics, and I'm going to say true entry because you started talking about the ending of the 13th Amendment, which ended slavery, the ending of the 14th Amendment, not the ending, but the 14th Amendment, which gave us citizenship, the 15th Amendment, which gave black men the right to vote. Those were all sweeping legislation under the Republican Party. So we came into politics, if you will, via the Republican Party. So we were members of the Republican Party. So this same Republican Party today wants to try to take credit for that. And then there were people like Thaddeus Stevens and from Pennsylvania, Charles Sumner from Massachusetts. See, these two men got this bill through the House that was 40 acres and a mule. To say, good guys. I'm not going to go into a lot of that today. But what I will say to cats in the Republican Party today, show me one of you mofos that resemble Thaddeus Stevens. Which one of you asses look like Charles Sumner? Which one of you are you trying to tell me that you're going to compare -45 to Lincoln? Is that what you want to do?
They actually are trying. They actually are trying, Brother Mac.
Please show me. Well, I mean, you could do that. You could do that with the knucklehead that don't. You could do that with Charlie Kirk, Live Charlie, who paid for the insurrection. You could do that shit with him. But player, when you come and sit down and sit down at the table with me, you better not bring that Jerry Lewis bullshit up in here. Don't do that.
Hey, you know what? Hey, I'm gonna start instituting $100 fine for every cuss word, man. I'll be able to fund the whole revolution messing around with Brother Mac.
Man, come on. How much am I up to right now? What am I up to?
I believe you probably up to about $1,000 for this episode, but I let the audience tell. But ain't nobody, man.
Right now, I got to check for $1,000.
Why do I know? Why do I know? I'll send you my Cash App. Why do I know? Why do I know Sumner from Massachusetts? Why would I know that name? Because it's ringing a bell, but I'm not connecting the dots.
So the reason you would know Charles Sumner from Massachusetts, because when you go back and you look at your history book, he was the one that was in a cartoon being beat down on the floor of the Senate by Preston because of his pro-black views. That's why you would know Charles Sumner. So if you go back and look at the cartoon inside your history books, he was the U.S. Senator on the floor of the Senate getting beat down to the point that blood was drawn. But Sumner was very pro-black in his views during the Republican Party for sure. That's why
it's funny
because that's the cartoon.
Brother Mac, it's funny. We have allies. We have I don't know if I could say always, but at important junctures in history, we have had co-conspirators in our liberation, and simultaneously we have had Judases who will sell us out for 30 pieces of silver because you don't accomplish that.
30 pieces of silver.
My man.
30.
You don't accomplish.
Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just going to say, you don't accomplish that level of exploitation that Haiti suffered in the aftermath of the 2010 earthquake without accomplices to the Red Cross and accomplices to the Clinton initiative. You don't get the kind of exploitation that has been successful across the history of blackness in this country without people who are co-conspirators with them. So we do have Judases in our camp. But the thing that encourages me, Brother Mac, is that history is on our side.
Oh, without question. Look, go back to what was going to be one of the largest insurrections in this country in South Carolina with Denmark Vesey, right? Vesey had a whole, it was either Vesey or Prosser. One of them, may have been both of them, but both of them were sold out by brothers who had our skin, but obviously weren't our kin. So there's nothing new to that. But again, even when you think about it, just think about a system that has been so brutal, so oppressive, that a brother or a sister thinks that the only way out is to sell you out. So, in some sense, I have at least some understanding that the system was so, because trust and believe, if any of us lived under the brutality of what our ancestors lived under, who's to say that we wouldn't have been a field Negro or a house Negro? Who's to say? But trust and believe that even when they talk to you about the house Negro, the house Negro was far more dangerous than the field Negro. See, the house Negro, in many cases, was putting poison in master's food.
That's right.
There was some shit going down that, don't discount. Don't put all when you start talking about the house Negro. That house Negro was a very dangerous brother and sister. So trust and believe. But again, this is the type of divisiveness that until you get inside our history and begin to learn our experience in this country, it's easy to start, the same way that they tried to cast, like we have to choose between Martin and Malcolm.
That's right.
They always do that. We have to choose between W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington. We have to choose.
No, we
don't have to choose. There's both of them. I'm just saying that, when Booker T. Washington told me to cast that pail down, I wanted to take that pail.
He went a little too far there now. We can call a thing a thing. There's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Listen, there's a clip from Disney or something about Disney. It's just like a remake or something that's about COVID and getting the vaccine. David, what is it?
So we can play two just to dispel some Bachman misinformation if you like, but
just because we don't have enough time to the Disney.
So Dwayne, we're going to go to E1. If you played in the reaction shot, just mute the host because there's some references in there that they'll need to hear. It's worth getting dinged even if we get dinged on YouTube and they demonetize. So just let's go to E1 and then we can get some comments.
Before we go, a couple things. At the end of this clip, this is my personal request. Please do me a personal favor. And whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you are, or even if you're listening to the podcast after the fact, I want you to go to my brother, The Pascal Show, over on YouTube and flood his channel with support because I was able to hit him up at 30 minutes before the show this morning. And I knew I needed some more help. And he jumped in there for me. So y'all go jump in there for me.
Before Dwayne rolls the clip, this is from Dr. Eric Ding on Twitter.
This video that we're getting ready to watch.
The clip was shared by him, and credit goes to Noah L. Lindquist and Singer in Kansas for the song.
Okay. All right. One more thing before we go. Brother, doctor, professor, our historian, Carl Mack. Brother, I you know what, man? I can't have a better person watching my six.
Got you, baby.
That's all we got to say. Let's take it away.
Wear a mask, wear a mask. Is this really much to ask? Tie some fabric round your face. Oh, it's the simplest of tasks. At the gym, at the store, don't treat it like such a chore. No, these mandates aren't malicious. All your theories are fictitious. Stop the lies, stop the fights. No one's taking away your rights. All this speculation makes me need a flask. Come on and read some data. All you masturbators, wear a mask, wear a mask, wear a mask. It's a mask, it's a mask. Heaven's sakes, it's just a mask. Such a shame that asking folks to follow rules gets you harassed. You can shout, you can glare, but listen, Karen, I don't care. Never seen folks so dramatic over a f***ing piece of fabric. Hard to breathe, feels too hot. Quit your bitching, there's a thought. Suck a top, and don't you give me any sass. We've got a lot to do, and it's not just the flu. So wear a mask. 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 Get your head out of your ass. Try to think of someone other than yourself. It's all we ask. While you sit watching Fox, ignoring science and the docs. Wow, your ignorance is showing as the death toll keeps on growing. Case by case, test by test. Don't forget, you're not oppressed till we put this damn pandemic in the past. Try not to be so grouchy, have some faith in Fauci. Wear a mask, wear a mask, wash your hands, and wear a mask.
All right. All right. Shout out to the people who made that. That was awesome, but I need a gospel version of it next.
Wait. Hold on, Ben. I think I may have something here. I got to give you my my poetic take on what we just saw. It's called Numbers Don't Lie. Men lie, women lie. Of all those who have died of COVID-19, 99.5% weren't vaccinated. Dr. Fauci has explained, so now I'll try. Republicans don't want the vaccine. Republicans don't want the mask. They stuck on stupid if I'm the one you ask. Since you won't accept those numbers and you won't modify your behavior, odds are pretty daggone good that you're going to meet sooner than later your savior. Black folks, your conspiracy is not even close to the truth. So listen to the facts before COVID claims you. Now, I'm fully vaccinated. I'm fully vaccinated, and so I stopped wearing my mask. The numbers regarding this new variant has caused me to reinstate that life-saving task. My fam, I don't take this lightly, and I don't mean it as a joke. This COVID and its twins, well, this should be part of your woke. So as I close, please take this seriously. Otherwise, I got to believe you're cray-cray and your ass is delirious. Now, some of y'all may laugh, but hopefully you will think. So let's get through this pandemic so we can have a well-deserved drink.
Come on, somebody. By who? By yours truly.
That's your gospel portion of that. Hey,
man. We'll take that and put some lyrics. We take that and put some lyrics to it and put a Hammond organ on it with a little bit of trap beat underneath it, and we'll have us a hit, Brother Mac.
I think you got it.
Hey, shout out to the entire crew, the entire team. Like it or not, they will be back. We're just going to give our sister Rebecca as much time as she needs. Brother James, DJ Exclusive, as much time as he needs. And we're going to give, we're just going to keep on pushing, Brother Mac. We're going to keep on doing what we're doing. A lot of exciting things ahead, but we got to take care of our team and our family first. So solidarity and love, and all of our prayers and thoughts to the people of Haiti, and to our team and everyone who is reeling in the reality that there's so many traumas that are happening simultaneously. So it's such to the point where we have to compartmentalize, and we all compartmentalize sometimes to the point where we forget some things. And sometimes that's a part of the process, but let's take care of ourselves. Let's never forget to take care of ourselves. Wear a mask, get the vaccine, for the love of sweet baby Jesus. Brother Mac, 8 pounds, 12 ounces.
Listen, one of the things that, Ben, I want to say to you, and I want our fam to understand this, man, is, you put together, first of all, you are such a beautiful spirit that it's hard for anybody to ever say no to you because of your authenticity of righteousness. And so as a result, you've come in contact with some people who are at a call willing to have your six. So this today, when Sister Rebecca in our heart and prayers and soul is with you, Sister Rebecca and Brother DJ, whenever we get to a situation when one man falls, it's just next man up, because of what you have helped put together, man, and bringing us all together as a family. And I just want to say, man, how much I love and will always be there. You will never make that call to me. And I'm like, no, Ben, I ain't really down like that. You going to make that call, and God, with little baby Jesus willing.
Man.
Next man up, baby. Next man up.
Next man up. Man, y'all get me off the screen, man. Enough of that. I appreciate the love, brother. To the highest degree, I appreciate it. And and we could do, one thing Black men do know how to do. We know how to give each other props. I tell you that much. I appreciate you, man. Salute, man. Brother Dwayne, take us out of here with some music, and everybody do me that solid. Y'all go show brother Pascal, the Pascal show. We on our way over there right now. Take it away.
Set the potato, sunlight that always stays, dinner by the waterway. It's that sweet life. Raise your cross. Made some dude crack a smile. He asked if I could stay a while. I'm living that high life. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro. Back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feeling when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. I left my heart in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. Shopping the girl, I brought a girl on my Vespa. She said I already told ya, yeah. I never dated a black guy. I said you're brown yourself. Let me offer help. Come on inside, where everybody knows your name. Everybody knows your name. Time to catch a flight, but you can make me go. Unlocking all the memories of my new home. Ventilated echoes playing to and fro. Back and forth, yeah. Caught some kids dancing in the alleyway. Crazy how the melodies began to play, yeah. Tell me how you feeling when you hear the lyric, yeah. My heart's in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. I left my heart in Stockholm. Now I never wanna go home. Somewhere to God. Sunlight that always stays in and by the waterway. It's that sweet life, sweet life, sweet life. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in Stockholm. I never wanna go home, go home. I'm living in Stockholm. I never wanna go home. I'm living in Stockholm. Yeah. Shut up, I get the bed. Get